அனைவருக்கும் மாலை வணக்கம். இன்றைய மைண்ட் யுவர் மைண்ட் நிகழ்ச்சிக்கு உங்களை வரவேற்பதில் மகிழ்ச்சி கொள்கிறேன். அனைவரையும் அன்புடன் வரவேற்கிறேன். இன்றைக்கு நம்முடைய நிகழ்ச்சி 973. ஒரு பேசாத சப்ஜெக்ட் இன்னைக்கு. இந்தியன் ஆர்டினன்ஸ் ஃபேக்டரிஸ் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் பை மிஸ்டர் சிவபிரசாத், ரிட்டையர்ட் சீனியர் ஜெனரல் மேனேஜர். கோயம்புத்தூர்ல இருந்து இணைஞ்சிருக்காங்க. நம்ம நாராயணமூர்த்தி சார் ஃப்ரெண்டு, எக்ஸாக்டா நாராயணமூர்த்தி சார் வீட்டுக்கு பின்னாடி இருக்கார் சாரு. எங்களோட அந்தமான் வந்தாங்க 2 பேரும், சாரும் மேடமும் வந்தாங்க. வந்ததுலயே ரொம்ப யங் கப்பிள், நல்லா என்ஜாய் பண்ணாங்க 2 பேரும். ரியலி அவங்கள பார்த்து நம்ம அந்த அந்த ஸ்டேஜ்ல எப்படி லைஃபை என்ஜாய் பண்ணணும்ன்ற விஷயத்த கன்வே பண்ணாங்க இன்டைரக்டா. அது ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருந்தது. ஆனா என்ன நான் சிரிக்கிறதையே வாட்ச் பண்ணிருந்தாரு சாரு. ஆனா சார் சிரிக்கிறது அவருக்கு தெரியல. ரொம்ப அப்போ நல்லா பேசணும், 2 பேரும் நல்லா பேசினப்ப அவர்கிட்ட இருந்து சரி உடனே நமக்கு தான் மைண்ட் யுவர் மைண்ட்ல உடனே ஓடுமே, சார் என்ன பண்ணிருக்காங்க இருக்காங்க. உடனே கேட்டேன். அவரை பத்தி சொன்னாங்க. சரி இந்த ஏரியா நம்ம கவர் பண்ணல, நம்ம யாரும் பேசல, ஸோ அதை பத்தி தெரிஞ்சுக்குவோம் அப்படின்னு தான் சார் கிட்ட கேட்ட. ஒரு நாள் பேசுவோம் அப்படின்னாரு. அதுக்கு இன்றைக்குதான் நேரம் கணிந்திருக்கு. சார் வந்து 64லயே ஜாயின் பண்ணிருக்காரு. ஆர்டினன்ஸ் ஃபேக்டரியில வந்து 64லயே ஜாயின் பண்ணிருக்காரு. எனக்கு 3 வயசு. சார் ஜாயின் பண்றது வந்து அப்ப நான் 3 வயசு. சண்டிகர்ல ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருக்காரு, கான்பூர்ல ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருக்காரு, நாக்பூர்ல ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருக்காரு, ஹைதராபாத்ல ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருக்காரு, பாம்பேல ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருக்காரு. ரிட்டையர்ட் ஃப்ரம் கார்கியா
அம்யூனிஷன் ஃபேக்டரி
கிர்கி பூனேல இருந்து ரிட்டையர்ட் ஆயிருக்காரு. ஆஸ் அ சீனியர் ஜெனரல் மேனேஜரா 2001ல ரிட்டையர்ட் ஆயிருக்காங்க சார். ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சியா இருந்தது சாரோட பேசுனதுலயும், அவங்களோட அன்னைக்கு நேரம் செலவிட்டதுலயும். நாங்க இதுல அந்தமான்ல நல்ல டைம் ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணோம். நாங்க வீட்டுக்கு இப்ப போனப்போ கூட ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருந்தது. இன்றைக்கு மறுபடியும் ஆன்லைன்ல பார்ப்பதில் மிகவும் மகிழ்ச்சி. மைண்ட் யுவர் மைண்ட் ரியலி ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு தருணத்துல இருக்குதுன்றது எனக்கு தெரியுது. இந்த இந்த ஆர்டினன்ஸ் பத்தி நம்மளோட, அதாவது இந்தியன் ஃபேக்டரி, இதை பத்தி பெருசா நம்ம நான் பெருசா தெரியாது, எனக்கு அவ்வளோ டீட்டெயிலாம் தெரியாது. ஏதோ கொஞ்சம் தெரிஞ்சது. பட் என்னதான் அப்படின்றது தெரிஞ்சுக்குவோம் சார் மூலியமா. அவருக்கு ஒரு வெல் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் பர்சனாலிட்டிஸ் நம்ம கிட்ட இருக்கிறாருன்றதுல மிக மகிழ்ச்சி. இந்த நேரம் திரு சிவபிரசாத் சாருக்காக நீங்க உங்க உரைய நீங்க ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க.
Good evening, everyone. It is nice to be amongst you at this time, because I had known a few of you from your Zoom meeting. Thanks to that Andaman visit, there I got to know. And it was quite nice to see some people who were able to make the entire atmosphere happy and vibrant wherever they go. So I was reminded of a quotation at the time. There are people, some people bring happiness wherever they go, and some people bring happiness whenever they go. I only wish we will not be in the second category. We should be in the first category. And S.Stephenraj particularly, I liked him because he used to have that laughter. On any topic, he is not bothered what happens. He says, that has gone bad. Okay, take care, chala gaya. What is that? And the laughing was so bad that it became infectious. Even those who could not laugh could make an effort and make a semblance of laugh. Now, that is something to be great. And both Narayanmurthy and S.Stephenraj were extremely passionate about photography, and the way they were after photography, and they explained the beauty and intricacies of it. It was something, mind-boggling, that people can take so much pain and so much work for a piece of photograph, which is showing a silhouette or a bird coming out from that what. Then I thought it's possible if man's mind only has to expand to take everything in. So that way I learned quite a lot. It was quite nice. We didn't know how the time passed. A good whole week passed, and we only climbing up, showing and all that, always laughing and seeing all those things in Andaman. Then he was after me to give a lecture. Then I told him, my generation is already past. You people are all youngsters. you people will get bored about a thing which is already pretty old. He said, no, it's not like that. We get to know each other. We will know. Then I said, okay. Then I said, I'm not preparing. I'm going to tell offhand and talk. He said, okay, that suits your convenience. So I will try to give a bird's eye view. I don't know, it's not a bird's eye view. It may be an eagle's eye view because the bird also flows fairly lower. From a very high point I'll view so that many I may not be able to know at all see. So that view I'll give about ordnance factories and my experience in ordnance factories. Actually, when I got the appointment order for ordnance factories, after all, I am from deep south in Bangalore. I knew only Bangalore. Apart from Bangalore, I didn't know anything at all. Imagine going all the way for my first posting in Chandigarh and a letter telling Indian Ordnance Factories. And at that time, the only word I knew was Ordnance. So I went on finding why ordnance for factory? A factory has to be certified as a factory by an ordnance or what? Then I knew there's another word, Ordnance, ordnance, which means weapons, equipment, and weapons, ammunition, and equipment. So that is what they are manufacturing. Actually, when the Britishers, when they gave independence, or when we got independence in 1947, we were left with about 10 ordnance factories. And you know, the British had colonized so many nations, not one or two. So much so, they were telling that the sun never sets in the British Empire. Proudly, they used to tell that. And so many nations were under their control. And India was one of the, I would say, richest colonies, where they benefited a great deal. And we did benefit, I wouldn't say a great deal, but to an extent, definitely. How much it is, it depends on the people to take advantage. Then in Indian ordnance factories, why British government kept the ordnance factories under government department? At that time, private had not come at all, 1960s and all those things. It had not come in a big way, and they wouldn't have invested for an item whose order is not known in a regular fashion, whose order will jump 5 times if there's a war, and will go down 5 times if there's a peacetime. So it's difficult for a private man to take up manufacture of this, orders changing up and down. Secondly, security was an important factor. They don't want any information to leak out. So they kept this under the government. And safety was a very important factor because all the explosives, we used to have detonators, which is very, very sensitive. Even you have to take out the shoes, socks, and all enter. Vibration can cause a detonation and explosion, and accidents can happen. So safety was another case, this one. These are some of the three, this one economically not viable, safety was another, then defense was too important. They felt to be left to the private at that point of time in 60s. Now things have changed a great deal and we are having private-public partnership. And so when this was the one. Second point, when once it comes to the government department, ordnance factories, they are bound by the Government Secrecy Act, number one. So nothing will be divulged. Secondly, you can't have strike as you will. If they want, they can bring out that Government of India Defence Act, where every strike can be declared illegal. So strikes cannot happen so easily. And third point is, when times of war, all of a sudden, we used to work in 2 shifts of 11 hours each, with 3 hours overtime. And non-stop, they used to produce the shells, guns, ammunition, and all that. And it would be posted from the empties, it goes to a filling factory. From filling, it goes to, a part of it will go to the proof establishment for checking up proof and all that. Because the inspection is too elaborate. One is in the manufacturing, that the component, sub-assemblies, assemblies. And then after that, filling. After filling, there's an inspection. Then after everything is completed, they will have a firing, this one. And then there is a firing finally in Balaso, where it will be taken for 1,000 shots of ammunition. They will take around 24 and fire. If anyone fails, then it will go for reproof. That means 48 will be taken for the next 1,000. If that is there, it will be destroyed completely. So it is very strict that way. So finally, it has to get through in that proof. That's the point. So for all these reasons, they kept it as a government department. And as a free India, we also continued the same thing. But then we also took it easy because British people is different. We also we neglected the Indian ordnance factories in the first few years. British could afford to neglect because British was already a superpower. They had a strong navy and they were doing it. And we were there, we did not take much importance in ordnance factories. We never thought there'll be a war. And thanks to that, with marketed propaganda of politicians, they said Hindi, Chini, bye bye everywhere. And bye bye, and you can't do it, by telling it, you can't become a bye bye. One has to work for it. And nobody likes to be a boy unless you are strong. And for a weak man, nobody will become a boy because it doesn't help him. Then at 62, we had that great China war, Indo-China war. When we had not prepared, when we are not equipped, China thought this is the right moment. And they came in hordes. Normally, attacking army will be around 3 times to the defense if you want to have a complete victory. Whereas China, it is more than 3 times because there's plenty of manpower. It used to come as horde of power, line and line as they die. And India was shocked that they were coming in such a big way. And we are not prepared. We had not started manufacturing in a big way. So it was quite a tough job. There was a book, Himalayan Blender, by Brigadier Dalby. I read the book. I liked it very much. But ever since that, for a long time, I had not been able to get that book at all. It has gone underground or banned or whatever it is. That was one clear. After that, I think Anderson, Brooks, and some others were there. I was not that much impressed. And another General Cole was there. He was related to the Nehru family. Untold story or so he was told. So I had read that, but I was not that impressed. But Brigadier Dalby's book was good. Okay, now coming back to the point, scale safety. No. So that means there's no compromise on safety and performance and safety. Time schedule is important. But you have to supply the item when they need. If we don't supply on need, we are keeping our Jawans and army people in great danger. So schedule and time is very important. So these were the main factors which were governing the ordnance factories. The next thing I'll come to, subsequent to the Indian, the China war, and rather our humiliating defeat, I won't blame the army for it, because army was wanting to prepare. They made plenty of notes, but politicians took it easy. They took the words, they were telling Hindi Chinbai so seriously. They couldn't read the people. And I think General Tapar was the chief of army staff. These people used to criticize him, but poor general, what can you do if he doesn't give the support? Then after that, we continued like this. Then Pakistan smelt. This is the right time. China has humiliated them, number one. And number two, Pakistan was a member of SEATO. So they got plenty of arms, equipment, and ammunition from the NATO and SEATO countries, including Patton tanks, then Sabre jet fighters, and like this, they got plenty of them. And they are getting it as aid, so they need not have to pay the money. Whereas we have to pay hard currency to get whatever item we want. And at that time, we had only Centurion tank. That was a World War II vintage of 105mm tank ammunition. And then we had some anti-personnel weapons. That was all, that's all 105mm caliber. Then this were thing we went, and we didn't have even snow protective clothing we didn't have. That is clothing which can protect you against snow and all that. And people didn't have even the footwear which was suitable for snow and all that. So it was a really tough time. The army took a battle in a surprise and shock without any preparation. So we can't blame them, but it was a good lesson that we learned. And 1965, Pakistan smelled the air, and they unnecessarily started provocating in Kutch, because they knew they had got all the arms ammunition ready, and India is not yet ready, and Nehru is no more, and Lal Bahadur Shastri has taken over. They thought, since the man is also of short stature, the chances are he'll be too short and won't be able to do much. But unfortunately, that is where we make a mistake. It is the short people, whose fame spreads far and wide. So Lal Bahadur Shastri, when he came, these people first started a little bit of trouble in Kutch. We ignored it because they know taking a fight in Kutch at this time is very bad, because it will all be marshy soil. Whoever takes the fight, it will be in a worse condition. So they ignored for this one. Then those people came further and started on this one, slightly on that, not Sialkot, just below Sialkot they started. Then by that time, next it will go to the Sialkot sector, where both of them are they are also having plenty. And they had made it with all the tank regiments which they got from the USA as part of NATO, and whatever left Sherman tank and all, they all, what's the right word they should say? They combined together and they made about 8 brigades and started attacking on that side. Then our people managed it with Centurion tanks, World War II vintage, and with their Mistiers and Vampire, these aircrafts. And Gnat had just come. Gnat aircraft was a small insect-like aircraft, but very maneuverable. And we managed to hold on for quite some time. Then the war went on. Neither of them could win. But then, finally these people had a strategy. You can't continue because they are well armed on this side. Now we can't attack. If we attack, it will counter. International pressure will come. So what we will do, we will start attacking at the Lahore side. So with the pressure, they may be able to withdraw. It worked. They went to Lahore, they could easily get into Lahore for quite a long time. Then these people got a little shivering, they started withdrawing there. Then things became easy. So finally, that way the war could be managed. I don't know who is the victor, but we can say India is a victor because Pakistan could not continue their plan. Pakistan will say, I am a victor because I humbled India. Neither of them was humbled, but anyway, it was another experience for us. So, and then what happens normally in the ordnance, what we are having is the ordnance, we can break it into what is called small arms. Small arms is all, that ammunition, at that time 0.304 millimeter ammunition was there, 0.004 inches. Then now only we got the international standard of 7.62 millimeter. Then now we have gone to many more things also like AK-47 and further this one. At that time with this one, small arms was one. Next is artillery. Artillery where we are going to fire. Suppose it is a mountainous terrain, then I have to fire with an angle of 45 degrees or more than 45 degrees, because nearly 60 degrees. Then only it can cross the mountain, otherwise it fall on our own side and create damage. So there, the accuracy is not important, but it has to cross the mountain. It is an anti-personnel weapon where we are going to create an area target or anti-personnel damage. And another is you want a longer range, then they go to 45% they put. That's the maximum range theoretically which you put 45%. So range will be there, accuracy will not be dead, but it's also an anti-personnel area target. And the third thing is the tank ammunition. Tank ammunition is dead accurate. There is no question. That will be almost near about 0 plus some few degrees. And then it is a high velocity. And then there is a big spin force, stability which gives you. So it keeps you almost on a parallel track and hits the front side of the tank on the spot. That is very important because otherwise you can't do. And it's a huge velocity. And the tank barrels are normally very long. And then they will be created as a rifle. I don't know whether this can be put. 1 minute. இது பண்ண முடியும் அப்படியே பண்ணிடலாமா கஷ்டமா அவளை காட்ட முடியாது. So I'll explain only that only. So what happens in the tank barrel is the barrel will be very long and it will be tapering. You see this side. It is one side of the barrel, that is the breech end, where the shell is being loaded with along with the cartridge case and this one. This is where the shell comes out of it. It will be a taper, number one. Number two, lot of rifles will be cut here. That rifle, you can see both sides are given as a sectional view. And rifle will not be straight. Everything will be slanted. So that as soon as it goes here, there will be a driving band. It has to be pushed through. Centering band which holds. And as it goes through, it takes a spinning effect because the rifle is slanted. And the spinning force gives stability right through. And high linear velocity plus spin velocity gives it a long range. And then it will give a straight trajectory. It will not fall down. So this is in the tank which is important, which is the hammer. And then the shell will be this side and cartridge case will be put over here. And in the cartridge case, there will be propellant and there will be a primer here. And beyond that, it will go to a breech ring of the gun. And then it will be loaded from at an angle. It will be loaded in shell and it will fire like this. That is about the tank ammunition, which goes at a high speed. So we had our 105 millimeter Centurion. But despite all that, how did he hold up in 1965 with Pakistan having pattern tanks, at that time the latest tank? How did we do it? The only reason that they're given is the Pakistanis were not trained fully in pattern tanks. They didn't know, it's a fully automatic. And to do an automatic, you must know. And they used to get in trouble in that automatic controls on and off. And another one intelligent strategy they did was, if you see the Indo-Pakistan border, it's all rice fields. So these people went well behind. So वो बोला पाकिस्तान के पास कुछ नहीं है, probably we can just march ahead. And they went on and went on till these people drew them to the rice fields. And in the rice field, they had deliberately pumped plenty of water, which is not seen from outside. And as the Patans rushed through, thinking that we'll walk over and run over the country, they all got stuck in the ditch and water. By the time they realized, a good number of Patans were already got stuck. And when once it is stuck, it becomes a sitting target for the Indian side. They went on firing shots and made it unmovable, immobile, by damaging the tracks and all over. So that way they had a very bad, this one, by that one strategy. And another is they were not fully well versed in the training. And secondly, when they had a saber fighter, and we have got World War vintage, Vampire and Mystier, how did he manage? Again, the came was the skill in navigating, skill in piloting and maneuvering. Indians were far better. So, including a saber was damaged or destroyed by a gnat fighter, which is no match at all. It is like an insect, but it could go so far the saber could not catch it because it was too small and tiny, just like David hitting the Goliath. So gnat also could manage a few sabers it could down. And mystiers and vampires also could. And this used to came at the newspaper and they today we have downed 2 sabers here, 1 saber here. And then those people used to bring their fighter aircraft right up to Kanpur. And we had no defense at that time. So what we did was thorough blackout was done, complete blackout. Nobody should even switch on the lights and they have to put curtains inside and all that. So night vision was not that good at the time, even for the fighter planes of that. So they were putting bombs which were going well beyond the airfield. So damage was not much and we got away. These were some other reasons by which things went our way. Now, after this 1965 war, what we did was the ministry and all were worried that this will not work because the ammunition, whatever we could manage to get from other people and whatever we could have stored could not last even for 3 weeks war. Within 3 weeks, all the ammunition will be over. They were telling 2 third-class countries waging a war and crying for ammunition supply from various countries. That was the word newspaper report used to put. Because ammunition you can't store in large quantities because it has got a shelf life, poor shelf life. So it's better always just fresh. The kallapodu, thalayapottu kallapoduங்கிற மாதிரி it should be fresh also in that. So that way only it go. So you want to manufacturing capacity. Then they started a lot of new factories immediately after that 65 war. Then we got from Maharashtra itself, Chandrapur, Warangaon, Bandara, then Kanpur, another one side, field gun factory, Kanpur, and then Kanpur expansion came, then Ordnance equipment factory came, then many other things, plus of them. Then Katni, then this one. At that time, only cordite factory, Arvangadu was there. Now we have got cordite factory, Arangadu, Bandara, then Chandrapur, and now Bolangir also is there. So by all those things, we are in a position to manufacture, if not for a long time, definitely to hold on for about 6 weeks. That's our point. And you know, the working 11 hours and 2 shifts, it used to be packed, go on from here to there, filling. It's almost, they used to be tracking, you know, just like the Zomato track today, where their man has delivered the food packet. So they will be waiting for it. As soon as it comes, they will make the filling, the inspection is done, then it will go to the depots, and then they will take the lot. Like this profit used to go very fast, and then it will go to army depots for firing. So that way things are better, but now things have changed pretty far because people are not only bothered about this, they go to the missiles already. And the aircraft also is putting missiles only here. But still you require your artillery and tank, and these are a requirement. This is for a show or a first one for the war, and the others will come only backing up. In the tank itself, they can put missiles. Like this, we are thinking of that way. So many factories, so much so today we have got 41 ordnance factories. Yes, I told. Of course. After that came the 1971 war. But 1971 war, the only advantage we had was, one was we could manufacture on our own quite a lot. That is one. Secondly, Indira Gandhi, and thanks to the deep with our foreign minister, and the chief secretary, that Haskar, these 3 people are the main architect. They made the friendship treaty with Soviet Union, 10-year friendship treaty and all. So we could get tanks and other things also from them. Then when the next war of 71 came, we had our T-55, T-59, when the Ajanta tank was ready, and our 105 millimeter was ready, tank gun, and 120 millimeter brand mortar gun was ready, and 125 millimeter tank ammunition was ready. So many things were there. 105 millimeter Hesh was there, and we were well prepared for that. But still, we didn't want to attack because international pressure will go again. So we were waiting for those people driving the refugees and refugees coming to our country, sympathy. And finally, we said we are left. We can't handle so many. And by defensively, we tried to push the refugees back and attack. That way only we did. And they were keeping all their army on the western border because they will neglect Pakistan will never neglect the western front. But they had moved over 1 lakh or over 2 lakhs of people, army, to Bangladesh at that time, East Pakistan. But we didn't attack them on the western front, though it was advantageous because we said it wouldn't go international public opinion. Then, by these people doing well and the army having learned quite a lot of lessons in the first few wars, and thanks to the local support and the local non-support to the Pakistan army, whom they perceived as occupation forces, it became an easy matter for the whole army of something like over 1 lakh people, all found prisoners, starting from a general onwards. And they had to take the entire people or prisoners. And then, of course, we knew we had to leave all those people. It's not possible because international pressure will mount. And Nixon was friendly, President Nixon was friendly with Pakistan. So he told them, will you stop the war or not? And he sent the 7th Fleet from there. And before the 7th Fleet we could come, Russia told you should finish your job. I can't hold more than that. So he tried to thwart their movement to a certain extent, but then he said, I'll have to give way. Then ceasefire was done, matter was over. So this is about ordnance factories. And as regards the life of ordnance factory is concerned, we are always away from the city, far away from the madding crowd, because madmen ourselves, so we are far away from the madding crowd, and it's a colony of ourselves. So we used to have our club where we used to play sports, games, and a bar, and cultural functions that were there, and good sports of tennis, shuttle, and all used to be there, and cultural functions, and somewhere picnics and all that. This is what the ladies and gents used to spend. That was their life. And one thing with all those things, I could enjoy a hot lunch while I was there in Kanpur. Because every time the lunch is over, 12:30, we used to take in that big truck. At that time, it was a truck. We used to go 3-tonner and a 5-tonner truck. 2 was there. We saw all officers used to go there. 1 o'clock, it starts there. I will be the first man to get on around 1:15 or 1:10. I used to have the last board about 2:10. So 1 hour was good enough for me to have a hot lunch and having a little siesta and board. So that way I had enjoyed it despite all the difficulties. That was one good point for me. And on top of it, ordnance factories have their own training institute because industry had not developed in a big way at that time. We had to develop people with the right skill required. So Ambernath was the first factory where with the Swiss assistance, we had a training institute. Then other training institute came later on our own that gave really good skilled people who could come as staff member, as supervisor, and then go up to the rank of a foreman. And later, of course, they have to take the exam, but up to 4 months they could go. We could experienced hands. So that was one we are making. And then there is what is called a war chest. That means always when you know, we'll keep so much of ammunition in supply, so much of component supply. We can't go more because, of course, we'll go on doing that proof, travel, proof, reproof, and all. If it is okay, they will extend their life for some more time, and all that. Otherwise, we have to throw it all and then start off new. So war chest. So there will be sometimes the orders very fast. You have to do, yes. When do you want it? You ask them means they will tell you yesterday. So they will never give you a time. I'll give you 6 months and all. That is the need will be so fast. And at the same time, in case of peace time, there will be no work. And they will find work for you. They will say, you make tiffin carrier. Like this, something, tiffin carrier or burden, all those things you have to do. Or some other things you were doing those days. And now propellants also, we have been very self-sufficient. At that time, it was only nitroglycerine. Now nitroglycerine, nitrocellulose. Then single, it became multicellular. So many things are made. on that one also, propellants. Then another interesting duty is, as officers, we are supposed to perform night duty. It used to come and return 1 in 13 to 15 days. At that time, on the night, you are not supposed to disturb any of the senior officers. You are supposed to be as an orderly officer having the powers of a general manager, which you should exercise with discretion. So we are supposed to take rounds, 2 rounds, see how things are going on and all that. So that was an experience. Only it used to bother about food, because we used to take food and then go. But all night being awake and all that, it used to work our system a little. Otherwise, okay. Then another one advantage I got was, I had learned Hindi only Prathamik and Madhyamik from Dakshin Prachar Sabha. Started from Rajaji, I think. Beyond that academic Hindi or Madhyamik, I didn't know anything. And my first posting and second posting was Kanpur. When I got into the lunch track, all will be talking in Hindi. And perforce I had to answer in Hindi. And Hindi, I didn't know what are the complications at the time. One of the great complications is the gender. A police is feminine, and a pustak is masculine. Kitab is feminine. So which is feminine, which is masculine is quite a job depending on the usage. They used to laugh when I used to speak, but they never decried. They supported me. So that way it made me learn Hindi very fast. It helped me a great. And I could get to know people from other areas, because it's an all India PAN service. Among officers itself, you will have Punjabis, you will have Bengalis, Madhya Pradeshis, then Tamilians, Andhra Vadu, and all those things. So we would know what are the various food patterns, because we used to visit their houses, Andhra food, Tamil food. That was all good. So we learned all these culture habits and to get used to it. And incidentally, I attended a Bengali marriage. At that time, I didn't know, because I was thinking it was more like South-like and all. And they went on bringing so many dishes and all that. By the time my stomach was nearly full, and I said, I think it should be over. Sir, abhi to chalu hai, sweets have to come only now. Then comes the course of sweets, 5 to 7 types of sweets. By which time we were not aware, we would have already completed the food. And they will have all mostly milk-oriented, the milk sweets, peda, this and all that. That was an experience I had. And in Ordnance Factory, Kanpur, at that time, most of us were bachelors, and we didn't know how to do so. We have to get a cook, and you can't get a cook just like from a place where Chennai or Mylapore and all that there. In Kanpur, where to get a cook? So a rickshawala will come over, he will say, I am a cook. So he will come first day, one man, some Jayanti came, roti banate ho, bana dega sara, bola. Sir, okay, kitna roti chahiye sahab aap sabko? 2 roti banao, zarurat hai to hum aur ek maang lenge. The man made a roti, and the roti was so thick, nobody could eat it. Then he said, where have you made the roti? What was your experience? So much so that my colleagues had to teach him how to make a roti. So this was all the experience which he can never forget. And one benefit was, among all ordnance factories, they used to have a Kendriya Vidyalaya. So far as education is concerned, which was never a worry for us, because our children could study in Kendriya Vidyalaya, could have an all India PAN image, and it was easy for them, even on a transfer, they could get a seat. And we had our own hospital to meet all this one, except for major thing. If you are an office, if you are the employee yourself, you can get treated at a military hospital. But others, we have to go for military hospital will not do. So that facility was there. And we used to have an army canteen where items were available with some discount. We used to avail of that. That was one advantage. So that is more or less about our life about ordnance factories. Now, if you have got any specific questions, I would like to take or any.
Okay. எல்லாரும் ஒரு முதல்ல கைத்தட்டும், ஒரு கிளாப் பண்ணுங்க சாருக்கு. எல்லாரும் இதுல வாங்க, வீடியோக்கு வந்தீங்கன்னா நல்லா இருக்கும்.
It's okay. All are okay. Thank you.
Great, sir. Nice experience, sir. We didn't expect that you are going to share with the starting. ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது, நிறைய விஷயங்கள் ஷேர் பண்ணீங்க. So really happy. Let us wait for the questions and answers. வாங்க சார், ரவிச்சந்திரன் சார், please.
I'm not asking a question.
Okay.
I have a contact with the Cadet factory. I was a teacher in Kendriya Vidyalaya, attached to the Cadet Factory, Arungarh. That was in 1974-75.
Great.
They were running the school, but they got it converted to Kendriya Vidyalaya. So I was the first teacher to report to that school at that time. And I had a campus life for about 1 year, nearby Wellington also. And I was given a quarter near Boys Camp, which was in another hill. So that military life is a different experience altogether. So that was a taste of Cadet Factory that I had. And I enjoyed all the facilities that were given to the Cadet Factory employees because the Kendriya Vidyalaya was considered as a part of the Cadet Factory establishment.
So nice. Thank you for sharing.
And incidentally, Kendriya Vidyalaya teachers are held in high esteem from everybody. Because one is there is no alternative, nobody nearby. And there are some really good teachers who come. Even today, my daughter says that Upadhyaya teacher gave me the foundation for physics. And that has helped me today. And they were good. And my relation of mine from my wife's side, he was a principal in Kendriya Vidyalaya in Cardite Factory, Aravangadu, I think, somewhere there. Venkatramani, he was there. So like this, there were people, and they were quite knowledgeable, and we used to have a good contact. Parents Teachers Association used to be there, where we used to intermingle with the Kendriya Vidyalaya teacher, principal, and all that. And we used to share. Sometimes they don't have a full block of teachers they can't get. So the short-term teachers, we would try to help them also getting candidates, and they used to recruit. They have been a very good foundation for us. Kendriya Vidyalaya, yes, that's why I mentioned at one point. It is a part of our life. I can't live without.
Thank you, sir. Ravi sir, do you want to say anything?
That's all. We had a long chat with Mr. Shivaprasad when we were in some island. What was that island? Second island that we went, Havelock. We had a very good time there.
Yeah. There was a little unfinished subject also on spirituality. We had just started on spirituality, your experiences that went unfinished. So it will be
pulled out by our voice.
Because that can't be absorbed faster either. It is difficult and you have to feel it and relish it. It takes time.
Thank you, sir. Ravi sir, நீங்க பேசுங்க.
சார் தமிழ்லயா ஒரு இங்கிலீஷா ஃபுல்லா பண்ணாரு?
நீங்க தமிழ்ல கேட்டாலும் இங்கிலீஷ்ல பதில் சொல்றாரு.
இது பேசினா புரிஞ்சுப்பேன். என்னோட
தமிழ் நல்லா பேசுவாரு.
சார் டிஃபரெண்ட் ஃபீல்டு எங்களுக்கு. இதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் ஒரு டிஃபென்ஸ்ல இருந்து பேசுறது. ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது. அதாவது என்னன்னா ஜென்ரலா அது ஏற்கனவே எங்க ரிலேட்டிவ்லாம் வந்து ஏர்ஃபோர்ஸ்ல இருக்கிறதால எப்படி என்ன நடக்கும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஓரளவுக்கு ஒரு ஐடியா இருந்தது. நீங்கள் அதை நிறைய பாயிண்ட்ஸ், அதாவது டிஃபென்ஸ் பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் வியூ, ஆர்டினன்ஸ் ஃபேக்ட்ரி பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் வியூவில் வந்து நீங்கள் கொடுத்தீங்க. இப்போ இந்தியாவில் வந்து 41 ஆர்டினன்ஸ் ஃபேக்ட்ரி இருக்குன்றீங்க. அதில் கவர்மெண்ட்ல எவ்வளோ இருக்குது, ப்ரைவேட்டில் எவ்வளோ இருக்குது?
எல்லாம் கவர்மெண்ட். ஆனால் இப்போ என்ன பண்ணிருக்காங்க, they have changed it. From government, they have changed it. So that is what happens. For some time we'll carry on with the government will bear the expenditure gradually. And finally it will be made, the proportion might change later. But presently it's still there, but it has become already private. It isn't like that. Budget is given and they have to run their own dollar. So it is not completely.
Now a lot of startups have come in defense sector. So
correct, exactly. And now things have changed so much, because they have taken the missiles, have made a big change. And just like, these people have gone Prithvi, this BrahMos, so many missiles they have made, and ICBM, Agni, this and all. It is a whole different era now. That's what I'm telling. But this will still have its place in the world. Those will have an important place, this will have its place. That's a point.
So actually, Mr. Anthony இருக்கும்போது அவர் சொன்னாரு, we don't have money to buy aircrafts அப்படின்னாரு. Whereas we have bought 90 aircrafts in last 10 years. So how that is happened?
This man, his point was, earlier people have, somehow they thought army means they are taking easy and all that. Nobody went there and seen what is their life. You see, if you want to comment on somebody, I have to go and spend some time to know what is their life and all that. He suppose he doesn't have the shoes and the clothing which is required for snow warfare. If you don't give him, how do you expect him to lose his life for your sake? When our people do not even like to stay in the queue for 5 minutes more, you expect the other man to give his life. So this, they have to understand the lecture. Understand this culture. Army is doing a great sacrifice, and I would prefer everybody going through an army training for 2 years, but it will be too
Yeah.
expensive for anybody to make it. So Agniveer, I said, is good. It's
Good,
all
good.
right.
Yeah,
if people
correct,
do.
correct. It is good. At least we have then a backup of people in case of
It gives
emergency and all.
discipline, patriotism. There's no substitute for it. Discipline and patriotism. Absolutely no substitute.
Then one
See,
more
in
thing,
Japan,
sir.
if anything happened, if Japan, one man, he says, war is there, you should not buy somebody's goods, they will not buy. There used to be a joke at that time, Japanese pencils used to break very fast. Even then, they did not use German pencil. They continued to use Japanese pencil.
And one more thing, this, what is that? Air Force, Navy, and military, all are having a different type of pensions, and that were made as a common pension and paid
Yeah.
to employees. Is it
Very good. These are all
beneficial or how
great
it is?
efforts.
Because that
Great
was spending
efforts.
nearly for 20 years in the previous regime period.
And the
Is it
beauty
helpful or?
now,
Yeah, now it is given. Last 10
and the
years after
greatest
that.
beauty is this man, present Prime Minister, has studied only a graduate. No Cambridge, no Oxford, no Stanford, no this one. How is he able to get that all fast, ear to the ground, and is able to take a decision? It's something very great. One is patriotism, one is long hours of working, and then probably keen observer, keen listener. I mean, we are only guessing there should be method. And you must feel for the other man. If you start feeling for the other man, chances are you will put your best foot forward.
Whether we will be able to take over POK?
Huh?
Whether we will be able to take over POK, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, next 5 years,
Yeah.
whether we will take back?
Correct.
Is it possible?
Yeah, nothing much has come, but anything can happen. They're all waiting now. How you are there? You see, this man has made a big Fairfield in Ladakh and all those things. This was unthinkable. And he has made a bridge at Chennai, which the height of the bridge is greater than the Eiffel Tower. This much nobody could have thought of. How is he doing it? We don't know. And now we are, see, first of all, China, we made a mistake of allowing them to Tibet. That British India, if they were there, they wouldn't have let this gone. Because British are very shrewd. They know what they need. They wouldn't have given Tibet to them. They kept it as a buffer state. But the moment India came, India didn't know what the concept of Tibet. Tibet was kept as a buffer state for British. They didn't believe in that. I would say some of them might give respect for British people also. Some they may have done bad for you, but they were good. Otherwise, they couldn't have ruled half the world.
So, compared to previous regime, how is the defense preparedness now?
Yeah, that's true. It's better. It's no doubt better because they know ear to the ground. They know what is happening and people are free. They're very transparent. They're able to talk to them at each stage. And he knows, and bureaucrats were always sitting on the chair and making these people, I am senior or you are senior. Seniority is the last word in life. You can't waste your time on seniority. There are many more things to be done. So these IAS people always for them, I agree, for sometimes seniority plays a part. But if that is the only thing is bugging your mind, then God only help you. Because they wanted army to be subservient all the time. No, that is not the question. The other man is giving his life. You just because you have passed IAS, that doesn't mean that everybody should go right to you. So that I didn't like also. But it's a part of the game. They want to keep an iron curtain. Now things are slowly opening up. That's coming. And army also is very firm these days. They are able to put their foot, take it or leave it. They are in a position to tell that.
Last but the least question, whether Pakistan will split, there is a talk that Pakistan will split as 3 states, Balochistan.
Possibilities are there. Possibilities are there. The way things are going on, because their army is controlling. No politician has any control in Pakistan. And army, what is happening? They are taking a huge slice of budget for their comfort. Now, this cannot stay on. This cannot prolong for long because this is at the cost of other people. So sooner or later, it will be a revolution or anything they will do. You see, only Punjab is enjoying. Balochistan is poor. And the Sikh and others are not better. Balochistan is the poorest. And Karachi is also poor. Only one area. You see, here in India, already we have said Tamil Nadu, Delhi, and all that. How can you expect in Pakistan? So possibilities are there.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot.
We should be strong. We should be strong. That's important. And we should have our patriotism. We should love our nation. We may have differences. Let it different. Let us go and talk and differ. But in countries, so far as country is concerned, there's no difference. Other thing can be different. You are better, I am better, it hardly matters. We also laugh it off. And I had another advantage, because all the inspectors were army officers, that is service officers. So I had to interact with them. And yes, in interacting, what happens, we used to visit their houses. And I have played with them all these rummy and all those things also. Though I never used to play cards before I entered, thanks to all this grouping, I used to go. I learned them bridge, rummy, and all those things. And we get to know more and more people. What the bottled up emotion should not be there. Whatever bottled emotion should come, people should know how to talk their way out, how to remove that bottled up emotions, how to be free. Now that's a big, this one. But you learn only by mingling with people and opening up. That I got some chance.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ravi sir. Sridhar sir, பேசுங்க.
Sir, good evening.
Good evening.
Very short, nice presentation covering the all of Indo-China war and Pakistan war, and that's very nice. In fact, of course, we don't have much experience in this line, though we used to see in the documentary pictures as what are the things has taken place in that Nehru time, and then later on Lal Bahadur Shastri time. Then later on Indira Gandhi time, yes, we are all aware exactly what is happening, what are our limitations, what is our strength, everything we were getting it to know. But as you rightly said, I would say last 15 years or 2 decades, the India is really progressing well towards the defense as compared to what used to be in the past, in fact. And of course, our friendship or party with Russia is also great. That's why, India never sacrificed Russia's friendship. Even now also, when in the Switzerland, almost 80 countries said that no, Russia should, stop the war. And when they asked India to sign this, India said, we cannot sign this. Though every 80 countries have signed, but we cannot do because it's unilateral. Both the countries have to come forward and then find out what exactly the problem. Simply signing stop the war against Ukraine means what Ukraine has done. So we cannot do. Basically, it is a neutral stand. At the same time, India also wants to make sure that their relation with Russia is not hindered. Because in that way, Indian-Russian relationship is there right from the, as you said, USSR time itself. Yeah, and then when they split into individual states, Russia is one of the strongest at that time. So after splitting, so our relation was continuing both in terms of even education-wise. There are many metallurgical students used to go to Russia and then study there and come back to all various steel industries, everything. Even many people are joined Indian artist factories also in their foundry divisions and all. So in that way, our relation with Nigeria and Russia was too good. As a result, we also gingered up very, very fast. Otherwise, on our own, it may be difficult. As you rightly said, Russia supported a lot. It is true. Otherwise, our progress could have been very slow, not at this stage. That's why now America also wants to come into picture that no, you take ammunition from us also and all. But still, we want to retain the whole relationship. That's good, in fact. Second thing, as you rightly said,
these people are going further ahead. The present government has gone a step ahead. They are trying to keep relations here also good. They are also good. They are buying from France. They are buying from USA also, and buying from Russia. Plus, you have to have options everywhere. And we are in a position to do today because our GDP is good. And we are able to pay hard currency. And we could get back our 100 kg of gold, which was surrendered to them as this one. What a day it was. I can never forget when Lal Bahadur Shastri was the Prime Minister. Immediately after Nehru's demise, say wheatless day, twice a week, no wheat, wheatless day. Because, and then we used to get that PL 480, which they used to feed the pigs. It is a second-rate one we used to take. Our question was so bad. Today, we are able to give food grains to others. We are able to give vaccine to Africa.
Yeah, we are self-sufficient.
What is it you want to tell me?
That is true. We are self-sufficient in that respect. And we are exporting food grains to many countries, in fact, that is true. Now, with our relation with, as you rightly said, with France, France is very good in their aircraft and all those things, which is really, so that gives safeguard our nation. very well with their advanced technologies, in fact. So that way, India is really progressing well. And I used to visit, as you said, Aravangadu used to visit, not too many times, as a trial basis I used to go. Aravangadu, and I told you the other two places. Even in
Muradnagar. Muradnagar.
Muradnagar. And then
Chandrapur?
Jabalpur.
Okay.
And even Pimpri Chinchwad also, there is one factory is there, office, college. I used to go in Pimpri Chinchwad.
Dehu Road?
Degu Road,
Ah.
yes. So I used to see, the way they work, especially with the uniform. When you see, you feel that you are very, you are nothing in fact, because very strong, and then discipline. Everything used to be nice. And then I used to go to the canteen also, well disciplined, and then subsidize the food and all those things. Not much of compromise on the food quality. Of course, you cannot expect like a 5-star food. So generally, there is a level of discipline, because we used to go to the stores, because that is where they normally keep the chemicals. So we see how they have been doing it. Of course, methodically, manually in those days. There's no computer in those days. All manual, but they have got a chart. Suppose chemical A, chemical B, chemical C. You see so many chart and file. They open and they will say when they receive, when they given, how much they are given, to whom they are given, all those things. So they don't want to see that something is going out of the system. So that way, discipline is there. There's no doubt about it. Not like generally, chalega, jaltaga, not like that, in fact. So that discipline is there, because that discipline is a very paramount importance to the entire defense system. If discipline is not there, soldiers also cannot, they contribute the way they are supposed to do, in fact. So that way, it is there, in fact.
Absolutely. Discipline is a must.
And the another point you are telling me that, of course, all this, the place which I visited, except Pune Pipri, which is on the express road, all other places are in the jungle, much away from the city, in fact.
Correct.
And another point I was really scared was in, I think, in that Murudanagar or something like, where they took me to underground, because all the shells were there. I have to cross that underground, go to the other side, foundry section. So when I was crossing, they told me all dime bomb. So as you rightly said, don't take, just keep going, keep walking, because I see so many were just packed and ready. And I told them how you are managing. He said, no, this is basically below the underground, so temperature is less. So if you keep it above, then naturally the temperature gradient will be there. It can explode also. So that is the time I was really scared, and I was wondering how people were staying. You see, it is not easy, when you know that you are sitting under the time bomb, and then, on that record everything. So it was a really good.
For the later portion, they have changed quite a lot. That is automatic. This one is kept away and remote control from outside. Any crane and all that. All they're doing it now. Quite a lot they have done. But still, yes, it's a continuous improvement. That's all. One has to keep track of it.
So it was very, very nice presentation, sir. You covered many points. Now, is still all the recruitments of officers through the class 1 officer style, UPSC only, or below UPSC something else they take a thing? UPSC service, normally they take people for class 1 officers, class 2, class 3. In addition to that, is general any recruitment, general thing is there for getting into Indian Armed Structured Services?
Yes, it is there.
Defense Academy இருக்கு சார். அவங்க தான் வந்து ஆபீசர்ஸ் எல்லாம் ரெக்ரூட் பண்றாங்க.
No, there are two things. One is National Academy is something new. That is one type where they take people graduated, then they go to defense and various things. Another one is the UPSC, in the civil service exam.
Civilians in defense
civil service exam. They will also take, like class 1 officer, class 2 officer. They will be posted in the administrative line. So for technical line, they go via, I do not know, suppose for example,
I'm not sure. Officers line, it was okay. Up to 4 months, they used to go with this apprentice scheme. They used to come and get it through. Later, with anything, because the pure science, defense service, pure scientist side, there they have got. That is a class 1 officer, class 2 officer, JSO they are having. Here I have not seen it because I'm a little out of touch of that, how they are recruiting now.
Because in DRDO, I saw many scientists. I was also in
DRDO is there.
DRDO, I used to meet with them.
Scientists, A to F, T and all that they put.
Many scientists.
I used to interact with them also. I remember Dr. Kalam also, when he visited the factory. She was a very simple person. So he said, can I have it? What is there? He has to only order. And he's asking, can I have? I said, But that was such a simple person.
Kalam, if I have to give my small experience, when I was in Hyderabad, we went to Bombay one seminar on composite, carbon composites. You know, Kalam is expert in carbon composites, especially in fact. So he also presented one paper. So he made about 1.5 hour speech. It was very nice. I think it was in Villa Penta hotel. After that, you know, we all came to the airport. Our flight to Hyderabad was 9 o'clock or something in the evening. The flight got delayed by 4 hours. At the time, only Indian Airlines, no other airlines and all. While people told that the airlines took us in a bus and take it to a 5-star hotel nearby Sahara or something like that. When everybody was drinking, chit-chatting, this man was just sitting quietly, and then, you know, then I went to him and asked some few questions, and he was just nicely explaining. And again, after 3-4 hours delay, further 2 more delays, he never get agitated. He said, no problem. What is important, we must reach home safely, whether it is after 4 hours or 6 hours. You know, that type of gentleman.
Very simple person. That's true.
Very, very simple guy. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Let others also speak. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Sridhar sir. Pranita madam, do you want to say anything? Pranita madam, இருக்கீங்களா? Anybody wants to talk? Narayan sir.
சார் நான் கேட்டேன், அப்புறம் என்ன எல்லாம் ஒண்ணுதான்.
நீங்கதான்.
Thanks, I should thank the team for giving him an opportunity. அவ்வளவுதான், வேற.
It's our pleasure.
நாங்க தான் டெய்லி பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கோமே.
முருகேஸ்வரன் சார்.
இப்ப திருச்சியில இருந்து துப்பாக்கி
சத்தமா பேசுங்க, வாய்ஸ் கம்மியா இருக்கு.
இப்ப கேக்குதா? திருச்சியில இருந்து துப்பாக்கி தொழிற்சாலை இருந்தது. அங்க என்ன பண்றாங்கன்னு தெரியாது எனக்கு. துப்பாக்கி பண்ணாங்கன்னு கேள்விப்பட்டேன். அதை பத்தி சொல்றீங்களா?
திருச்சியில இருந்து துப்பாக்கி தொழிற்சாலை, கன் ஃபேக்டரியா?
Ordnance factory Trichy. அவங்க ஸ்மால் ஆர்ம்ஸ் தான் பண்றாங்க. எனக்கு I'm not completely touch with the latest what they are doing it. But otherwise all the small arms that they are doing there. Trichy. இது ஒண்ணு ரைஃபிள் ஃபேக்டரி ஷாப் 2. இது 2 we are doing small arms. அந்த இதுல. But latest products are doing நானும் டச் விட்டுட்டேன்.
There is classification, small arm and medium arm and big arm like that.
என்ன? Once more?
Small arms factory and the medium like that, medium arms factory.
Classification இருக்கான்னு கேக்குறேன்.
இல்ல, அதுல small arms ன்னு ஒன்னு சொல்லுவோம். இன்னும் ஒன்னு small arms, artillery and then tank. இது அமினிஷன் அந்த மாதிரி வச்சுட்டு இருக்கோம். ஸ்மால் ஆர்ம்ஸ் கையில தூக்கிட்டு போறது எல்லாத்தையும் ஸ்மால் ஆர்ம்ஸ் இடுவோம். ஆர்டிலரினா அதை கீழே வச்சுன்னு அந்த ட்ராக் டயரை போட்டுட்டு அது கன் எடுத்து வாட்டர் பார் இருக்கும், ஸ்மூத் போர் இருக்கும். அதுல போருக்கெல்லாம் ரைஃபிள் இருக்காது. அதுக்கு டெட் ஆக்யூரசி இஸ் நாட் ரிக்வயர்ட். அது ஒரு ஏரியா டார்கெட் பேர் இருக்கும். இங்கேருந்து மவுத்ல இருந்து லோட் பண்ணா டங்குன்னு அது அடிக்கும் போகும், போயிட்டே இருக்கும். என்னது கார்லிக் பட்டாசம் அது மாதிரி மேலேருந்து போட்டாலும் அடிச்சுட்டு போயிட்டே இருக்கும். அந்த மாதிரி மார்டர்ஸ் அப்படி போனோம். அது ஆர்டிலரி. அது டேங்க் இஸ் தி ஒன்லி திங் விச் இஸ் டெட் ஆக்யூரேட்டி ஆன் த ஸ்பாட். அதுக்கு ரைஃபிள் அமினிஷன் தான் வேணும். அதுக்கு டிரைவிங் பேண்ட் அண்ட் சென்டரிங் பேண்ட் இருக்கும். சென்டரிங் பேண்ட் சென்டர் பண்ணணும், டிரைவிங் பேண்ட் கொஞ்சம் ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கும், ஸ்லைட்லி மோர் தேன் தட். அது வெளியில வரைச்ச அதை போய் அதை பிடிச்சி என்ன புளிஞ்சா மாதிரி இருக்கும். அதை பண்ணி போயிடும். So it will give an impression that will give a spinning force. And the high spinning force and linear velocity, it keeps a stable trajectory. When a track is only about some 2 feet by 2 feet, within that I should be able to hit it like a bullseye.
Then the DRDO, no? How the DRDO is supporting for the ordnance factory?
Sure. No, they are a different department entirely, DRDO. It's almost like a research development area. They are taking all new items, research. For example, when heavy alloy penetrator project Trichy started, it started as a DRDO branch. Then Ordnance Factory took over from them. Then they were with us for quite some time. Then, so we are with them. And we could have taken also, at that time, Bharat Dynamics came for the missile division. They took it and they did the missile. They are quite a good lot of scientists. I have interacted with a few, not many. Because at that time, perhaps Mr. R.K. Mahapatra was there. And then our Ramarao was the director of DRDO at that time. And then my own neighbor was Dr. Sundararajan. Everybody is practically a doctorate only there. But they were right from scientist D onwards. I don't know whether scientist C. Scientist D is a doctorate, definitely. So all of them. So it is good. Younger age group, more educated, and more. That's the point. So we have
the total ordnance factory, how much workforce will be there total in all India?
All it must be coming over nearly 2 lakhs or so, more than 2 lakhs. Because, of course, slowly it's gradually coming down in strength. For example, Karki itself at one point of time had about nearly 10,000 people. When I left, it was nearly about 5,000. But gradually what happens as they retire, they don't fill the same number of people because they are going for automatic now. It is small arms, plenty of automatic has been done. Filling, plenty of automatic has done. Because not because to save men, but because of safety reasons.
Okay.
And I mean the rate of manufacture for that one only, there's no question of keeping men. So more mechanization, more automation, with that, the number may get reduced. But even then, they're more than 1 lakh.
Now, how many total ordnance factories are there? Total?
41.
Oh, now
Bolangir is the
41.
last factory, I think, Bolangir.
Okay, for now 41 is there. Tamil Nadu, we have two only, no? Tamil Nadu?
Tamil Nadu, you have got already one factory, engine factory second, clothing factory third, cardite factory 4. Then what else is there in Tamil Nadu? Trichy have got 1 plus 2, 2 factories. Then any more cardite factories over. That's all. About 6-7 factories. Out of
Okay, thank you. When the British left, we had only 10, correct, no?
No, I couldn't get you once more.
No, when the British, during independence, no, we got only 10.
10. We are already 10.
Now we have 41. Okay.
And thanks to that Himalayan blunder or the Chinese aggression, immediately about 8-10 factories came. Because they found this way we can't run around and begging people for ammunition, we have to manufacture themselves. Then only we added 8 to 10. And afterwards some more as and when depending on it. But only thing is we will have to change also a little bit. That is in manufacturing now, we have to have the commercial aspect. Try to see how it should be economical and how it can be high technology. Because we can't afford to run away from high technology. It won't work. For individuals, it may work. For a factory, it won't work. You have to be in touch with technology. And then it should be affordable. That is important. And it should be flexible enough to take over other ammunition also. Like this, we have to see that.
In USA, no? In US, in United States, no? I think the guns are available very easily, no? In the market.
What is available, you said?
Gun.
Oh, for them, that's another big factor. What has happened is, America is run by lobbies. I don't know, President is a very strong person. The gun lobby is very strong. I cannot bring out an instruction hereafter. I don't want children about 10 to have guns. I can't bring out. Because money is concerned. So gun lobby is very strong. No president of America also would like to take heads on against them. Similarly, pharma lobby is very strong. Similarly, defense lobby is very strong. Now, what do you think the Ukraine war is coming? Ukraine war is not for the benefit of Ukraine. It is, apart from humiliating Russia, their main idea is their arm manufacturers, all of them have got plenty of load today. They got money, their share prices have gone up, all defense prices have gone up, and Ukraine will finally foot the bill, and Ukraine will give all their agriculture products to America. Because when you deal with that, it will be for their advantage. Don't expect them to be Dharmatmas. They won't be. So they do the same thing with us, they do with everybody. That is why we are slightly leaning on Russia, because America is absolutely among the Banias also, you can call them as the Shylocks. They would like to get their pound of flesh. They won't give you easily. Free, they won't give.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Vanitha madam, do you want to talk anything? Vanitha madam irukanga pesrangala apdikkala. That's solluma.
Anyway, thanks Anita madam for all the nice things, snacks she got us at the airport. At Coimbatore. Nice
சார்
snacks.
மைக் ஆன் பண்ணுங்க சார், மைக் ஆன்
சென்னை
பண்ணுங்க.
Chennai, on our way. I don't know how they managed.
We got help from Moti and Lakshmi also.
Timely, one after another, she started bringing. We are not ready for that. But how did she manage? I don't know. Really great. Thanks, man.
எல்லாரும் senior citizens சரி ஹோம்மேடா சாப்பிடலாமே ஒரு நல்ல எண்ணம்
It's really nice of you to have thought of. Prepared and come.
சார் நல்ல வேளை பாம் எதுவும் எடுத்துனார்ல சார்.
நீங்க சாப்பிடாம தப்பிச்சீங்க.
பயம்தான் உள்ளுக்குள்ள ஏதாவது ஹிடனா இருக்குமோன்ட்டு.
ஆமா.
இப்ப இனிமேலான தெரிஞ்சுப்பீங்கல்ல அடுத்த டூர் ஏதாவது போனாக்க.
அடுத்த டூர் வரும்போது கொஞ்சம் யோசித்து தானே வாங்குவோம் நாங்க.
Really nice of them.
Sir, what was your portfolio, sir? What was your portfolio when you were in the factory?
Portfolio. When I joined, I was called as assistant manager. I had production. I was looking after production of shelves, then production of bombs. Later on, when I became manager, I was looking after guns and ammunition. Then by the time I went to DGM and all that, I had other portfolios also like material management, store management and all that. Then after you join GM, you get a portfolio of complete, personnel entire was taken or maintenance separate or materials and stores like this inventory. And by the time you become general manager, you must know everything else the administrative head you should do.
Arms எல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ண தெரியுமா சார் உங்களுக்கு?
Arms எல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ணனும்னா நம்ம பண்ணிருக்கோம் ட்ரை, otherwise we are not done it.
உங்களுக்கு யூனிஃபார்ம்லாம் இருந்ததா?
இல்ல, civilians no uniform.
Civilians ஒண்ணா யூனிஃபார்ம்லாம் கிடையாது. So you are not treated as a military man.
But the inspectors who are inspecting our jobs, there the top people are all army officers.
Okay.
And they have civilians working under them. So with them I used to have an interaction. Because the army officer will see from the army point of view.
Good.
Where you studied?
என்ன சார்?
Where you studied? Where you studied? எங்க படிச்சது?
நீங்க சார் எங்க படிச்சாரு? சார், where did you study?
Indian Institute of Science சார், IISc பெங்களூர்.
பெங்களூர்ல.
Indian Institute of Science.
நீங்க எந்த ஊரு?
சார் ஓசூர்ல இருக்காரு சார்.
I am in Osur now.
I studied from Central College also, graduated. And after Central College, I went and did my BE in Indian Institute of Science. Then I did my ME also. Then I went through UPSC and came over here. I mean, a direct channel.
In 1980s, I used to go often to IASC and stay there in the night because Saturday in the evening I'll go and Monday evening I'll come back. My friend was doing PhD. There. I did my engineering in REC Trichy, then I joined Ashok Leyland Osor.
Okay.
Weekends, I used to go there and meet him and come back.
Okay, PhD in which subject you was doing?
Chemistry.
Chemistry, okay. Those are all very good department. Physics, because even R.S. Krishnan was there. Chemistry, all those departments is good. It's a new atmosphere, I found when I went to institute, the atmosphere completely changed. Right from day one, they don't believe all the sir business and all. They say, we are here, we tell you, you have to explore yourself from their end. Otherwise, you can come to us if I got any problem. And that library used to have such 5-floor, big ladder. And they will give and all that. When I saw and all that, it made me, one side it made me look how small I am. And at another time I saw how much more is available for me to know.
Yeah.
So really great atmosphere.
Yeah. Whenever I go there, I used to go to the library. There was excellent library. Those time DEC computer was there, DEC 1980 something. That was an excellent computer. That time I used to punch
IBM.
IBM computer.
IBM is the first one which came to India. At the time, I don't know the institute what was there. And then only came.
That time Fortran language, I used to program and make a punch card and run the program.
Exactly. Punch card. Those days are all gone, but that is the way we started. All that card system, card index and all that. All are irrelevant. The other day, you know, we went to Brookfield Mall. Then we said, shall I pay cash? He says, sir, you can scan it here. He has become digital. So cash also has not that I must know digital. Because I don't get too much into that. Then Mrs. will handle that digital side. I don't know. It has
Thank you.
come. We are, whether
Thank
we
you, sir.
like it or
Very
not, entry has gone digital. That has to be accepted.
வேற யாருன்னா
And it's
பேசுறீங்களா?
good. Hmm.
Amada madam, Taiba, anybody wants to say anything? வேற யாராச்சும் பேசுறீங்களா?
So graduate discipline in a mechanical நீங்க பண்ணா. You are mechanical engineers yourself.
உங்க
What is
discipline.
it?
Discipline மெக்கானிக்கல் இன்ஜினியர்ஸ் இருக்காங்க.
இல்ல, no, yourself.
என்னோடது பில படிக்கச்சு மெக்கானிக்கல் சப்ஜெக்ட்ஸ் இருக்கும்.
Mechanical, okay.
3-year B when I படிக்கச்சு, I will have applied mechanics, theory of
Okay.
machines, theory of machines, and these are all mechanical sides. Civil also
Okay.
will be there. Civil, just like engineering, you know, first 2 years. MA, it will be mainly power system. That will be, will have high voltage will be there also. That is part of it. Not
Okay,
much.
okay.
Power systems, then network analyzer, then load data shedding, all these types of things.
No problem. So, okay, thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Very nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So, வேற யாருன்னா பேசுறீங்களா? தாய்பா, you want to say anything? தாய்பா இருக்கீங்களா?
சார்,
எதனா கேட்கணுமா? கொஸ்டின்ஸ்?
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம்.
வணக்கம்.
காலேஜ்ல படிச்சுட்டு இருக்கும்போது கார்கில் வார் பத்தி வீடியோ டாக்குமெண்ட்ரி காமிச்சாங்க சார். அன்னைக்கு நாங்க ஓத்து எடுத்துக்கிட்டோம் எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்து. இப்படி வந்து வாரே இருக்கக்கூடாது, பீஸ் தான் இருக்கணும். அதுக்கு நம்ம என்னென்ன செய்வோமோ அது வல்லரசு ஆகும்போதும் கூட அப்படிதான் இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னு ஒரு ஓத்து எடுத்துக்கிட்டோம். அதுக்காக நாங்களும் சரி, எங்களை சார்ந்தவங்களும் சரி, அதுக்காக அமைதிக்காக என்ன செய்ய முடியுமோ இன்னைக்கு வரைக்கும் அந்த ஓத்தை ஃபாலோ பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். எங்க ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாருமே ஃபாலோ பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க சார்.
So nice, good. But one of the first reasons for Amaidi is strength. The life is like that. We can't help it. You have to be strong if you want peace.
முதல்ல வீட்டுல அமைதியா இருக்க கத்துக்கினா நாட்டுல ஈஸியா அமைதியா இல்ல சார்.
ஆமா, மதிக்க மாட்டேங்கிறாங்க. என்ன பண்றது? எல்லாரும் அவனோட ஆதாயம் பார்த்துட்டே இருக்கான். Now it is difficult that way.
நான் சொன்னது காதுல விழுந்தா உங்களுக்கு?
சொல்லுங்க, கேட்கல.
முதல்ல வீட்டுல அமைதியா இருக்க கத்துக்கினா நாட்டுல ஈஸியா அமைதியா இருக்காங்க.
You are right. Absolutely.
அப்புறம் எங்க வீட்லயே நம்மளால அமைதியா இருக்க முடியல, அப்புறம் எங்க வெளியில அமைதியா இருக்க போகுது?
சார், நீங்க சொன்னோன்னு எல்லாம் சிரிக்கிறாங்க. பார்த்தா எல்லாரும் பாதிக்கப்பட்டிருப்பாங்க போல் இருக்கு.
ஒரு சிலர் வந்து கேமரா மூடிட்டு சிரிச்சுன்னு இருக்காங்க.
தேங்க்யூ சார். தேங்க்யூ மேம்.
மகிழ்ச்சி. தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச். சார், எனி ரெக்ரூட்மெண்ட் ப்ரொசீஜர்லாம் எதுனா உங்களுக்கு இப்போ ஏதாச்சும் அப்டேட் பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா?
என்ன ப்ரொசீஜர் சொல்றீங்க?
ரெக்ரூட்மெண்ட் ப்ரொசீஜர்ஸ்.
அது கொஞ்சம் I'm a little out of touch, so I don't know completely.
You don't know. Okay, right.
I have to find out.
Is there any exam?
Out of touch item. It's a pretty long time now, you know.
Is there any entrance exam?
Yeah. For which one entrance exam for?
உங்களோட ஆர்டினன்ஸ் ஃபேக்டரியில சேர்றதுக்காக ஏதாச்சும் எக்ஸாம்ஸ் இருக்கான்னு கேட்டேன் ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்கா.
Supervisor level.
I'm not asking about higher portfolio. Higher level இருக்கவங்களா நான் கேட்கல.
I think supervisorல நான் வர வரைக்கும் இருந்தது. பட் இப்போ அவ்வளவு வருஷத்துல அதனால இதெல்லாம் கண்டினியூ ஆயிருக்கா இல்லையா after this board watching and find out. இருக்கணும், இல்லாத இருக்காது. It has to be there. I don't think they will change so much. Supervisory level of recruitment இருக்கும். From there you can go by official promotion level to chargement to foreman. And sometimes foreman direct recruit வரும். Other rare cases. If the vacancies are more, they will have a separately.
ஒவ்வொரு ஃபேக்டரியிலும் டிஃபரெண்ட் டைப் ஆஃப் ஆர்ம்ஸ் இருக்குமா? மேனுஃபேக்சரிங் வந்து உங்களுக்கு
rather sometimes 2 or 3 factories will have similar things. For example, the gun and shell factory, Kasipur also will be doing the shell. Ambajari will be doing the shell, and Kanpur will be doing the shell. And people will compare the cost. And the cost எல்லாம் கொஞ்சம் டிஃபர் ஆகும். ஏன்னா அம்பஜரி இஸ் மோர் ரீசெண்ட், மோர் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக். அது ஒன்றா இருக்கும். முதல் பண்ணதுல ஆட்டோமேட்டிக் அவ்வளோ இருக்காது. பட் தே ஹேவ் டு கம் பேக் டு த சேம் காஸ்ட் மோர் ஆர் லெஸ். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி 2-3 factories will be doing same product, so that if anything happens to one factory, the other two can manage to pull and continue on it. But there will be different items also.
Is there any difference between the arms வந்து இப்போ இதுல நேவிக்கு ஒரு ஆர்ம்ஸ், ஏர்ஃபோர்ஸ்க்கு ஒரு ஆர்ம்ஸ், ஆர்மிக்கு ஒரு ஆர்ம்ஸ் செப்பரேட் ஆர்ம்ஸ் அந்த மேனுஃபேக்சரிங் இருக்கா?
இப்போ நேவலோடதெல்லாம் நீங்க எடுத்தீங்கன்னா அதெல்லாம் பெரிய பெரிய கன்ஸா இருக்கும். கன்னே பெருசா இருக்கும். 5.5 இன்ச்சு, 4.5 இன்ச்சு, 6 இன்ச்சஸ் இருக்கும். இது ஆர்மேஜ்னா கொஞ்சம் குறைச்சியா இருக்கும் கம்பேரிட்டிவ்லி. 125 மில்லிமீட்டர் தான் இது வச்சுட்டு இருக்காங்க இது வரைக்கும் டேங்க்ல. நேவிக்கு எல்லாமே பெருசா இருக்கும். And Air Force, we used to do practice bomb, 100-pounder bomb we used to do. And the actual real was the 1000-pounder bomb, where our patient our underground license panana. That's the actual 1000-pounder bomb, which Air Force uses. So we are supposed to do for all of them equally. But Army takes a commanding lead. Over 80 to 85% will be Army.
இப்போ அப்துல் கலாம் பீரியட்ல வந்து இந்த அக்னி ஏவுகணை எல்லாம் விட்டாங்கல்ல, மேனுஃபேக்சரிங் பண்ணாங்க. இதுல வந்து டாப்பஸ்ட் எது இருக்கு, எங்க மேனுஃபேக்சரிங் பண்ணாங்க?
To be frank, it should be Bharat Dynamics in நினைக்கிறேன். I am not updated. All missiles it goes to Bharat Dynamics. ஏன்னா அதுக்குன்னு அது பண்ணா அதுக்கு they started that factory. I don't think anyone
எவ்வளவு தூரம் போறதுக்கு இப்ப நம்ம கிட்ட அந்த இது இருக்கு, மிசைல்
எவ்வளவு வரைக்கும் போலன்னா இங்க இருந்து சைனா பார்டர் வரைக்கும் they can do straight away. They can hit China.
How many kilometers? For 5,000 kilometers or 7,000?
5,000 plus. They won't tell you. They will tell you we are touching 5,000.
Approximately.
But I think it will be 6,000 வரைக்கும் போகும். அது வரைக்கும் டச். அதுக்கு மேல கூட பண்ணுவா. அது கொஞ்சம் இன்னும் ஒர்க்கிங் அவுட். ஏன்னா அது வேணுமா வேண்டாமா எவ்வளவு காசுன்னு அது சொல்ல மாட்டான். Because it's not good because it will create a problem. And definitely not China I must keep in mind because he is going to keep me in mind.
That's correct.
There's no way. அது இல்லைன்னா I'd go somewhere nearer to hit him.
The arms research center la taniya irka? Research
there is what is called armament research
update பண்ணிருப்பாங்க.
அதுக்கு ARD இருக்கு, Armament Research and Development Establishment பூனா. அவளுக்கு தான் வேலை. இவா என்ன பண்றா, அந்த கண்ட்ரி என்ன பண்றா, எங்களுக்கு என்ன நீடுன்னு அது பண்ணுவோம். And they will take DRDO also with support wherever they want. இப்போ presently the government has gone one big way. Even DRDO also takes private support also. With Tatas, Mahindras and all coming through. அவங்களுக்கு என்னென்ன ஆர்டர் they cannot assure for a long term. So அவங்க இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ண வேண்டியா இருக்கும். So he would like to know how much you are earnest about it. So அந்த மேட்டர் கொஞ்சம் they will navigate and they will come. ஏன்னா அவன் மாதிரி நம்ம ஃபாஸ்ட் பண்ண முடியாது. He will be able to put in investment faster. If we can assure him to some extent, provided if it's okay, I'll give you an order. And it's bound to come. It's a public-private partnership. And at that time, private had not come, industrialization was lagging behind. Today, things have changed a great deal.
நீங்க அந்த ரிசர்ச்ல எதனா இருந்திருக்கீங்களா? நீங்க ஏதாச்சும் அந்த ரிசர்ச்ல ஏதாச்சும் இருந்திருக்கீங்களா?
No, I had interaction in this. நான் எங்களோட ப்ராப்ளம் என்ன இருந்ததுன்னா அவகிட்ட போய் டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ண போய் அவ்வளவுதான். Otherwise, I not worked in ERD. அவ கூட நாம எதனா ஐட்டம் பண்றதானா they will come to us and that way we used to interact together. இப்போ எவ்வளவு வரைக்கும் பிரைவேட் பார்ட்னர்ஷிப் வந்து வரப்போறது இந்தியான்னா ஈவன் இங்க ஸ்பேஸ் போறது கூட டைம் இஸ் நாட் ஃபார் ஆல். somebody will invest provided there is enough number of people to go.
அதுக்காக தான் நான் ஆக்சுவலா இது இப்ப கேட்டது காரணமே ரிசர்ச் அப்படின்றப்ப ஸ்பேஸ்க்கும் இவங்களுக்கும் இன்டகிரேஷன் ஏதாச்சும் வச்சிருக்காங்களா அப்படின்ற மாதிரி. ஸ்பேஸ் சயின்ஸ்க்கும் இப்ப மிலிட்டரி சயின்ஸ்க்கும் இன்டகிரேஷன் வச்சிருக்காங்களா, அதை கனெக்ட் பண்ணி இவங்க ஏதாச்சும் பண்றாங்களா?
அது presently the only thing which is coming under DRDO only. அவளது எதனா எக்ஸ்டென்ஷன் விங் இருந்து அவ தான் பண்ணணும். ERD will only with already established item plus some அந்த மாதிரி எடுத்துட்டு இருக்காங்க.
ஏன்னா ஃபியூச்சர் வந்து எப்படி இருக்கும்னு நம்ம ப்ரொடெக்ட் பண்ண முடியாது. எல்லாமே ஸ்பேஸ்ல போயிடுது. ரிசர்ச் இஸ் கோயிங் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் வே.
அதுதான் சொல்றேன் அம்மா, டைரக்டா நான் இப்ப சைனா கிடைச்சேன்னா அவன் அந்த மிசைலை ஸ்டாப் பண்ணிடுவான். He will send it to space and it will go to the space and from there it will come. Then he will not know which way it will come. அப்படி அவன் அடிச்சான்னா அதுக்குள்ள இருந்து 2 மிசைல் போடுவான், 4 மிசைல் போடுவான். So that anyone will go. Now it's going too big now. Another beautiful warfare which we are thinking is without any ammunition and armor. Today the war is going is all propaganda. If this USA invades Iraq, he says we want to get rid of the dictator. But if somebody else is invading him, he will say human rights is affected. It all depends upon how you are going to bring the perception. Now that game is too tough a game to play.
Correct. Thank you very much, sir. So
Welcome. Rather, but
wonderful
for you, I
presentation.
wouldn't
Is
have
there
done.
any
உங்களால
questions
தான்
from
I
others?
came into this.
Is there any question from others? வேற யாராச்சும் கேக்குறீங்களா?
சார்
வாங்க.
அவர் வந்து நார்த்ல இதை மட்டும் தான் பண்ணிருக்காரோ இல்ல சவுத்ல ட்ரிச்சி அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் மேல பண்ணிருக்காரோ?
Trichy
துப்பாக்கி
I'm
தொழிற்சாலை.
working in heavy alloy penetrator project Trichy. Anga I was there for nearly. That is the only south factory I was given. Only south factory. அவளோ ஈஸியா கொடுக்க மாட்டேன். அது ப்ராஜெக்ட்னு வந்தது, I took it.
சார் ஒரு பண்ணி கொஸ்டின், உங்களுக்கு கன் லைசென்ஸ் இருந்ததா?
என்ன
கன் லைசென்ஸ் இருந்ததா உங்களுக்கு?
கன் லைசென்ஸ் வச்சிருக்கீங்களா? வீட்ல கன் வச்சிருக்கீங்களான்னு கேக்குறாரு.
நீங்க
இல்ல
நீங்க கன் யூஸ் பண்ணி பாத்துருக்கீங்களா? ட்ரை பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா?
எப்படி ஃபயர் படுத்தின்னு காட்டுவோம், அவ்வளவுதான். அப்பார்ட் ஃப்ரம் தட் neither have I gun license nor have I used it.
சார் எனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச அவர்கிட்ட இல்ல சார்.
மேடம் கிட்ட கொடுத்து வச்சிருப்பாரு நினைக்கிறேன் நான்.
அப்புறம் பாருங்கோ அடிங்கோ அந்த ஃபயர் பண்ணிச்சேன். அப்புறம் அதை பார்த்துக்கணும். அதுல நாம கரெக்டா இருக்கணும். அதோட ரெக்கார்ட்ல we should not move out this way or that way.
டார்கெட் ஃபயரிங் அந்த சென்டர்லாம் இருக்குது, அங்க போனீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது
நீங்க இந்த क्वेश्चन மேடம் கிட்ட கேட்டுக்கணும் சார்.
அவங்க டார்கெட் ஃபயர் பண்ணுவாங்க.
எனக்கு ஒரே ஒரு கொஸ்டின், இது இல்ல விமன் எம்ப்ளாய்மெண்ட் இந்த ஆர்டினன்ஸ் ஃபேக்டரி எல்லாம் எப்படி இருக்கும்?
இருக்கு. But I would say very high proportion. Even when I was there in Karki, we had quite a nice ladies there who are working mostly in that electronics, computer, and even in mechanical. I saw in Trichy itself when I was there in HAP Trichy. Mechanical கூட வந்திருக்காங்க. It is mechanical, electronics. Electronics normally வந்துடுவாங்க. Mechanical one lady girl I saw. And administration and all that will always be there. அங்கெல்லாம் வந்துடுவாங்க. And metallurgy people will come. These days I'm sure they will come in large number. Fighter pilot எல்லாம் conquer பண்ண அப்புறம் in all these things are nothing. Fighter அவன் run பண்றானா ladies. And then huge machines they are running. அவ யார் அந்த லோகோ பைலட், அதை பார்த்து அது மேலே உட்கார்ந்துட்டு. So it is a way you can't stop them. They are coming in a big way. They are also daring. Things will change a great deal in the coming generation. For good or for bad, we have to see. That depends upon how we conduct ourselves.
I think முடிச்சுக்கலாம்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Thank you.
Thank you.
டைம் ஆயிடுச்சு.
Thanks everybody.
டைம் ஆயிடுச்சு. ரியலி வண்டர்ஃபுல் பிரசன்டேஷன் சார். நீங்க உங்களோட டைம்க்கு ரொம்ப நன்றி. உங்களுக்கும் மேடம்க்கும் எங்க மைண்ட் யுவர் மைண்ட் சார்பாக நன்றி தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சி சார். மீண்டும் சந்திப்போம்.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
நன்றி சார்.
Thank you. மீண்டும்.
It was wonderful.